Alrighty. I think we zoomed in a little bit. Alright, so the hot mess that this is, it actually looks a little better off camera. A little bit. And our bottom edge is all sorts of wonkiness. Okay. Alright. So sorry for the delay. It being Father's Day. I thought I was going to be up early enough to get done what we needed to get done before we did dinner. That was not the case. So here we are. Dinner didn't take as long as I was thinking it was going to, though, so. Alright. Now I think today we're moving on to some fuzz. We're moving on to some palm tree action here. So we're gonna see. Oh, hello. Welcome, welcome. Hope you are well. So we are going to see where we're at in the tutorial. We're about 16 minutes in on a 26-minute tutorial, roughly. So, what, about 10 minutes remaining, give or take, in the tutorial. It'll be far from 10 minutes left on what we have to do. But, I do have the tutorial muted. Oh, hey, hold on. Hold up, Bob. Hold up. Forgot to do the one thing I needed to do. Knew I was forgetting to do something. I always forget to do something of some description. Let me turn on that. Alright, so let me, I think I have closed caption on. I had closed caption on. Let's turn that back on. So I have the tutorial muted. For those that want to see, oh, that's not right. I'm trying to type with these finger protectors on is a nightmare. So I feel like my fingers are misplaced. So there's the link to the tutorial in full from the Bob Ross YouTube channel. So let's see. It's really hard to do reflections in the needle felting, so this kind of got a little messy down here at the bottom. Not a total disaster for first time trying to needle felt a nightscape, but okay, so he's putting in the palm tree. Now he grabbed what looks to be Van Dyke Brown. And he's got a palm tree trunk coming in off the side. Probably about starting here. And it looks like it might be coming up to maybe about here. Ish. Alright, now we got a second one coming in. And we don't have to have it exactly placed where he's got it, but so we got two trunks that we need to put in. Oh, yeah, it helps if I reactivate that. I'm a hot mess today. Alright, so he's just kind of, he's trying to round those off with the knife just a little bit. I don't think he added another color to those yet. I think he's still just kind of fussing. Alright, now he's going to add some more colors. He's going to take some white. That's the lavender, not gray. Oh, I don't have that shade. Ugh. And of course it's gonna mix with, well, we're gonna have to just go with like a gray color, cause that's what we got. That's a very specific color. Alright, I just wanna see. We won't go too far, but I do want to see how he's handling the trees so I know what colors I'm gonna be needing to pull out here. I'm pretty sure we have enough brown ready to go. I should have something similar to this color. I think we have like a dark gray that we could probably get away with. Alright, then he's gonna... Oh, so it wasn't black. It was whatever this weird dark color was he made. I thought he... No, that's a different color than the tree trunk. Okay. We don't have this color. So... It's like a very deep purple. Okay, so that's gonna be like sitting in front. Alright, we're probably gonna have to rewatch the frond section again. And I'm probably gonna back this up a bit. I just kind of want to get an idea of what we have to work with. Now, I can see why he went with this deep purpley color, because the background is black, and I was like, I'll just use black, but it's not an option. Well, shit. That's a problem. Might have to go with our dark blue. Our dark denim navy color in here for this. Unless I look at the roving colors, I don't know if we would have... I don't know if I have roving in like that deep of a color. Alright, let me pause that, because we have gotten way ahead of ourselves here. So let me pull out my extra little fluffs that I got. Oh, what is this? This might be black though. No? That's similar to this, but it's not. Actually, that is almost the same shade. In which case, if I'm gonna go with that shade, I might as well just go with what we've got. It's an almost... I mean, we could go with this like super dark green. I don't know, I'm conflicted. Alright, I think we'll go with the super dark denim color. Similar to this. It's like one shade off, I think. So we'll use what I already have out. Don't fall from up there. Alright, first things first, though. First things first. We need our brown. Oh, that was two colors attached to one another on my fluff stand here. Okay, let's get down to things. Sorry about the tape on my hand. I have a cut. And Band-Aid wasn't gonna stick. And I know some people are weird about looking at other people's injuries no matter how minor, so I just kind of threw some tape over it. There was no way a Band-Aid was gonna stick there. I had scraped it on some ice in our freezer, and it actually split my skin more than I was expecting it to. Ice is sharp. Ice is very sharp. Alright. So, this started, one of them started about here. It's gonna probably take a couple of things. Ideally, this would be a bit darker in color, but I'm limited in what colors of fluff I have at the moment. I would like this to be a little more Van Dyke brown instead of chocolate brown. But, you know, we're gonna work with what we got. Or we're gonna try to, at least. Now, I might have to add some more to this to thicken this up, because as we stab through it, it's gonna shrink down a little bit. And stuff's starting to fall. Sure, go ahead, stuff. Go ahead, fall. Just not the fluff, because the fluff is gonna be a pain in the ass to pick all up. Especially if the cats find the little bags of fluff before I have the chance to get them. Then it will be fluff everywhere for days. Alright, so we're just gonna kind of stab this through. Now you can use roving. Most people use roving for this. Because of the amount of colors I needed to attempt this series, and my budget being very, very tiny, I went with acrylic yarn. I did see that you can hand dye roving, but I think that's an adventure I'm not ready for. That would be a lot of prep, and that would be hard to get the colors completely right, because, you know, I'm sure some roving would be would take the dye better than other bunches, and, you know, dye lots and all. I'd have to make sure I made enough of one color at one go so I didn't run out in the middle of a project. And while I do run the risk of that with the setup I'm doing now with the materials, it's not as likely. Because I have a lot more in this than I would the roving. The roving's a little expensive for my budget to buy large quantities, shall we say. So I went with acrylic yarn, and that does involve quite a bit of, you can kind of see it. You can kind of see it. It's dark. It's dark for me too, but So I went with acrylic yarn. It does involve a bit of prep, not gonna lie. But if you're not afraid of doing a bit of prep work, then it's all good, right? So and the acrylic yarn, I still have to do the prep video that the video on how I prep it. I've seen some people prep it using like a piece of cardboard or something that they lean it up against and then brush it across. The scritchiness of the brush, the prepping brush, against the cardboard was kind of a bit much for my ears, so I don't use the cardboard. I do rip my finger up a little bit, but it's not terrible. It's not like it's bleeding or anything. It's just a little scraped. But that's because of how I hold it. And that also depends on how much I'm prepping at one time, so I get a little scratched up, but nothing terrible. Alright, so I think we want this a little bit thicker, because I'm getting fluff stuck under the edge of the tape. Alright, so we do have a painting project coming up, and we're going to pause on our needle felting, not because I'm tired of it, but I really want to work on this one painting project. And I figured if I'm going to record it anyway, we might as well stream that. So we'll sidestep for a few weeks and do the painting project soon when we're done this one. And then we'll come back to working on this. Just twisting that a little bit to get it a bit more under control. Or at least that's the idea. You can kinda, like, you can't really see it down in here, but you can see where it's coming up into here. You'll be able to see it a little bit better once we start to get that gray in there. And this is, you know, it's a tree, especially palm trees. They're not all straight, they're a little squiggly, so, you know, don't worry about it being straight. It really shouldn't be. It can deviate a little bit. I mean, you don't want it deviating too much, but, or maybe you do. Maybe it's a really beat up tree that's seen some better days. Okay, you can kind of see it. Maybe you can see it better than I can. I have the glare of a light on my monitor. The light I have is being a little silly with so much black in the background, so it's making the brighter shades almost stand out too much. Alright, so I think we need just a little bit more down in here. Like, I don't want them super thick, but at the same time I want it to have a little bit of substance here. I don't want it to look like a toothpick either. So these are my finger protectors. They came with my toolkit. I strongly advise you use them. These needles are sharp. These needles are not a toy. They have notches cut into them, if you're unfamiliar with them, to grab the fiber and kind of marry all of the layers of fiber into each other. So it needs to be sharp to do that, and if that goes through your finger all the way, it's gonna be ow city. And I don't know if that would require a trip to the emergency room to get it back out. There is potential there that it might, so it doesn't do more damage.
Does it have any kind of hook on the end?
On the end, no, but there are little tiny notches cut into the needle, like little tiny Barbie things.
Okay, are they actual barbs? Do they curve back?
I can't tell. My vision's not that good.
Yeah, probably trip the emergency room. I'm trying not to do that.
They just kind of look like little bumps to me, but I'd have to like get a magnifying glass to really tell. I mean, I've heard people say that they're barbed, but I don't know if that's an assumption or if they actually are, but let's err on the side of caution. I have pricked my skin with them a couple of times, and that hurt like a bitch, but I just kind of hit the surface, and I immediately stopped, and I'm like, oh, step. But you know, if you're not paying attention and you're just kind of going to town, I can easily see how you could have a major problem happen pretty rapidly. So I do not recommend this for children at all. This needs supervision. I would not let anyone, I personally would not let anyone like under the age of like 12 touch this. Of course, you would have to judge your own younger art members, and it would have to be, you know, a maturity-based decision, and to make sure that they respect and understand the dangers of their supplies. And even then, there could be an accident, so that's why you have the little finger doodles. I wish I had a whole glove of these, to be perfectly honest, because I keep using the fingers that aren't protected, because I'm weird like that. And of course, all the black background is picking up every single errant piece of fuzz that it can. Just kind of beefing up our bottom here. I mean, granted, the actual bottom of the trunk is kind of off the page, if you will. But I still want this a little bit more sturdy. Alright, so kind of got that going. Now I'm gonna put the, you can kind of see it on the back. I'm gonna put our highlight in now while I have the tree trunk in front of me here. Oh, let's do that so we know where the end of the needle is. I'm gonna back Bob up here. Let's get these palm fronds out of here. Alright, can we get a shot of this, Bob? Alright, Bob's nose is in the way, but we get the idea. Alright, so don't really have the color Bob's got. I've got two potential colors that we could use in place. So let me grab those and try to see who looks like they're gonna work better here. We've got taupe and we've got a medium gray. And I think I'm kind of leaning towards the taupe, to be perfectly honest. So I've got my hair everywhere. All of the things. I'm just gonna pull a length of this off. Now I don't want this to be super thick because, you know, high lady colors. Alright. This should kind of help us find our tree trunk here. Now, if you're going to use the tip of the needle to attempt to move around your fluff, don't dig in and move. Kind of try to separate it before you push the needle into your mat. Now, because I'm holding this with a little bit of pressure on it, it is a very thin line. So we might have to come back in and add a little bit more. Maybe. So my finger's just kind of resting on it, my thumb. You can still see movement where, see how this is curling up? It's because the fibers, the little notches in the needle, are pulling the fibers together. Down through our layers. This is a highlight, so we don't want it to get too carried away. You can kind of see it highlighting the edge of our palm tree here. Kind of, sort of. I was hoping to start my new bonus stream content tomorrow. I don't know if that's going to happen now. I'm kind of behind on something else. It depends on how far I get tomorrow, because this is a very busy week. I have 2 articles I need to work on. And we still have some stream prep that we need to get done for Wednesday that I am super duper behind on. So yeah, we're gonna have to add a bit more of this shade in. of our taupey color. Definitely. Because it's a little thin down in here, and I think it should probably be a little bit fuller. Now, this is a step you guys don't have to do. This is just something that I do just to help get our front side to lay flat a bit more, so it doesn't get too peak and valley on me. And I'm using a felting mat instead of foam. It does mean it's gonna pick up some of our fluff as time goes on, and I probably will have to replace it at some point as it gets too fluffy and bumpy to use, or if it starts to fall apart. But it's been doing pretty well so far. We've had this mat since December. Can't really complain about it. And it's not leaving little bits of foam anywhere, and it's not the harsh scratchy of the needle going through it, so okay, that's all good, right? It's all good. So I'm just getting some more fluff together here. So we can get this a little bit more highlighted down into here. Now I'm not going to worry about the palm fronds yet. I mean, I probably should, but I think we can deal with that when we get there. Okay, some loose little guys up in here. I'll probably end up going over all of this with our big monster one, with the big daddy needle. It has the 8 needles in there, but you know, we'll see. I usually use that one as the finish up. Make sure everybody's attached in with this guy. Make sure we don't have any stragglers. Excuse me. Oh my. Okay. Our allergies were settling down for the briefest of moments, and then it rained yesterday. And now husband and I have been just allergy city once again. I'm not as snuffly as I was a couple of weeks ago, but I can feel it creeping back up. We had like a week of reprieve. I remember thinking earlier this week, I'm like, oh, I'm finally starting to feel a little better, thank goodness. Nope. That was all a lie. Alright, so this one's gonna kinda hang out here. Probably can't see that very well. We're gonna have to thicken this one up a bit too. I can barely kind of make it out. I can definitely make it out over the water section. Doesn't look like much there now, but yeah, in the next, as soon as we're done this one, we'll move on to take a small break from stabbing things, and we'll drag all of our paints out. And we'll have some fun with that for a little bit, just to change things up. For probably like 2 weeks. Depends on how long we stream for and how much we get done. As always. No, we're not abandoning this series. We will come back to it. I just wanted to take a small little breaky poo in the middle. Yeah, hopefully tomorrow we can start Michael's Minecraft. That's gonna be fun. Oh, I am getting all kinds of fluff up under there. Alright, so I'm just taking some sections of our fluff and just kind of sneaking it out a little bit. Just so we can kind of get it in the shape that we're looking for to begin with. So yeah, again, sorry for the late start today. It happens sometimes. I know I'd put the start time down to 6. That's probably just for today. So I do prefer to get started a little bit earlier in the afternoon. I'm just gonna got some loose guys up in here while I hear and see them. Just get them tucked in. Yeah, I'm gonna come back with the Big Daddy one and the monster that it is, and just make sure everybody's anchored into place here. I will probably add a little bit more to this one, because we still feel a bit thin. And that's okay. I'd rather start out with less than I need and then build it up, because you can't really undo this. There's no undo button. We would have to redo over it, and it would be a bit more difficult than, you know, just painting over a mistake. We would definitely have to come back in with some other colors that were underneath of it, reapply over top, and try to hide the issue, and then try to redo it entirely. So yeah, let's try to just start out a little bit slower from the beginning. And if that means it takes us a bit longer, then it takes us a bit longer. That one got pretty attached there. So I tend to pull my pieces up off my pad periodically as I'm going, because I didn't the first time I tried this, because I hadn't seen anybody else do it, but most of the other people I had been watching do this were doing it on the foam pads, so maybe it releases off the foam pads a little bit better. But I was in for quite a surprise when I didn't do that, and I went to pull it up, and it was felted to my mat. And boy, I really had to peel that one up off of there. And I kind of distorted the edges of it in doing so. So that was a bit of a lesson learned there. But I think when I get done this one, I'm gonna do what I did with the other one, where the final, because all of this gets sent over to the YouTube channel to archive it, right? The live streams, well, most of the live streams, I try to make sure all of the art ones go, especially when we're in a longer series. I have a couple art ones that didn't go over there for whatever reason. But the first episode in this tutorial that we followed, when I got to the end of it, I took all of the live streams and compiled them together and edited them down into one speed felt, essentially. And that's probably what I'll end up doing with this one as well. And when I go to do that, I will try to record the yarn prep video, and I will try to slide that in front of this series in the art playlist. Alright, so this part of the trunk looks pretty good. Well, the base needs some help here, though. That's just not quite where I want it to be. And our top section here could still use a little bit of help. Sorry, there's just a couple little loose end guys up here. Just gonna get those tacked down while I'm seeing them. Okay, so I will say adding the taupe against this did help make it feel a little bit darker. So that's good. Alright. And I just want to thicken up that bottom section of the trunk a little bit. I almost feel like this needs to be a little bit wider. I don't know. I'm looking at the other one, right? So kind of feels like it should be a little bit wider. I don't know why this is suddenly sticking so hard. It didn't really seem like it should be. All right, now. All right. I don't know. We might be all right. Have another bit of fluff. Now I did look at the next tutorial in this series for when we get around to it very, very briefly. And that one I think will have an easier go of it, I think. Sorry, I forgot my hands aren't on camera there. Alright, so I'm just gonna kinda try to get this in along this bottom edge here. Sorry, all these little loose fuzzy strands of various shades from the water. Like, no, how did you get free? You should be all tacked down, so I must have just missed those. Alright, realize I'm like way at the bottom here. So we got that all tacked in there. All right. Now. All right. So this one's kind of a little all over the place. He actually has more taupe, or more of this highlight color. So taupe, because that's what we're using. Then I thought he did on that one. So we might need to thicken that up just a little bit. Don't want to go too heavy in here. But at the same time, we don't want to be too skimpy with it either. All right. We'll get this kind of put in here. I mean, this isn't a bad shade for a palm tree trunk. I mean, I know his shades are going to be a little bit different than ours because you can do a heck of a lot more with changing your colors with paint than you can necessarily do with this. Like, we can kind of blend multiple colors together, but it's not gonna change the entire color necessarily. It's not gonna mix like paint will. Alright, and I do have a little bit of fluff remaining down here. I'm just gonna snip that with some scissors and we'll get that tapped in with the loose ends right in there, and then we'll move on to the next tree and getting those highlights tapped in. Sorry for the camera shaking, if it did. Oh yeah, it did. Sorry about that. Camera's sitting on top of my monitor. I'm gonna do that from time to time. Alright, so this next one, go ahead and start to get this one tacked down into here. I might have to beef that up a little bit, but then again I might not. And we're gonna have like the palm fronds coming down, so maybe that's the right amount of light coming in through there. Now down in here we might need to thicken all that up just a bit. We will see how things are looking here. Okay. At least it's not as disgustingly hot. The humidity's come down a bit. I mean, it's still hot. I think our feels like earlier was 97, But it was a bearable 97, if that makes any sense whatsoever. It wasn't as humid. We didn't feel like we were melting into a total puddle on the ground. Skin could breathe, so that was good. Alright, yeah, we might have to add a little bit more to this one. And that's fine. But yeah, now compared to the other trunk, it feels a little thin. I realized I'm like half off camera, sorry. Got used to us working over there and I'm just gonna try to make sure everybody's tacked down in there, and we'll go and grab a little bit more. Again, this is a step that you guys don't necessarily have to do. It's just one that I do that helps get everything laying flat again, or at least as flat as we can be. I'm gonna close the brown. For now. I'm not sure if we are done with it, but I'm gonna slide that over to our wall of fluff for the time being. Alright, yeah, you can kind of see the trunks now. Oh, we've got that lighter taupey taupe on there. Alright, I am trying to thin this down just a skosh. So it's a little thick, I think, but we could always start with the thicker part down here. If that's what we gotta do. Then that's what we'll do. Alright. Tell ya, I was sitting here last night, after the podcast, and I had just finished up, taking care of everything I needed to do for that. For my end of the things that need doing. And I'm sitting here and I had just loaded up WoW because I needed to get some challenger work done. I've got to get working on that druid for Wednesday. It's gonna take me a while. And I'm sitting here and I was hearing this like dull thumping and I'm like, the hell is the noise? And I thought maybe the cats were dicking around and starting to fight, and I yelled at them and the noise kept going, and I'm like, well, maybe the noise is coming from the front porch. So I'm loading up our camera to see if our outside cats that like to come visit, they're not our cats, we don't know who the hell they belong to, they just like to come here for a pit stop. And one of them thinks they live here now. And I'm looking at our camera and there's nothing moving on the front porch at all. And I'm still hearing the noise, and I'm like, what the hell? What is happening? What is with the banging? And I'm trying to figure it out. I'm looking, I'm investigating, I'm checking the weather radar. I'm like, is it thundering? Like, what the hell's going on? Then I realized, as the sound progressed, it was fireworks going off. And I was like, not amused. The one doggo was not amused. He had hightailed it and was hiding in our, like, the middle of our house, like the middle room, and I'm like, why? And Russell and I were kind of dumbfounded at first. We're like, who the hell is setting off fireworks on June 18th at like 10 p.m.? Like, this is very strange. Couldn't figure out what the heck was going on. I'm trying to look up, was there a sporting event? I was like, there's no way we're hearing fireworks from Fayetteville. Like, that's too far. We never hear them when they go off in Fayetteville. Never, never, never. And it wasn't that windy at that point, and I was just so confused. And today, I see a post on a Facebook page, or one of the multitude of Facebook pages that people have started in this town, asking, what the heck was that? Of course, I see it 16 hours late. And, somebody's 50th birthday celebration, they had hired a professional to set off fireworks. And I'm like, you could have warned the town that you were gonna be doing this. I guess that would have had uninvited people over trying to see them, but at least there's a lot of vets that live in our town, like military veterans, and they don't like the fireworks. They hate them. They're not a fan. And from the posts I've seen on these Facebook pages, several of them suffer PTSD, especially with the loud noises and banging. And yeah, they were not amused. I wasn't amused because the dog was getting upset, and I'm like, really? A little bit of warning, at least for them, would have been nice. So they knew what the heck was happening. Alright, now I do have a split that opened up there, and that's a small problem. Alright, let me close up our bag of taupe here. I'm just using Ziploc bags to kind of keep the colors in that we've already fluffed. I have about 20 of these bags everywhere. What is this? Okay, this is the correct color. Alright, so I'm just gonna grab some of our black here and just kind of fill in this spot right in here. And hope that that covers it sufficiently. Maybe it will. So it's Sunday evening for me. How was your weekend, guys? Was your weekend good? Did you survive your weekend? Did you get done all of the things that you had wanted to get done? For those celebrating, how did your Father's Day celebrations go? Alright. Yeah. Just smooth that out again real quick. Alright, there's still a little bit of a splotch there. I doubt it was coming up on camera, but I could see it, so I just want to get that taken care of so it doesn't get any bigger. And that's just easy enough to fix. We just need to tap in some more color over top of it. So that's not a big deal. The more I'm fussing with it up here, more gaps are opening. That's interesting. And not exactly ideal, but you know, it does happen sometimes. So we're just gonna kind of go with it. And see about pulling that in. I still have that one spot up there that's being a little bit fussy. We'll see. We'll see about covering it with some palm frond. It's a very minor spot, so. Alright. Okay, give me 1 second. I need to fix what I'm sitting on. Cats and I keep warring over it. And I need my hair clip. My hair is touching me just enough where I'm like, eh, you need to be out of my way. Alright. Okay, so we've got our trunks in place. Now, let's see, we're gonna hit play again. We already saw this part once, but let's review. Alright, so he's gonna take that dark color. And we've decided that we're gonna use our dark denim color for this. I'm gonna need to fluff some more dark denim, that's for certain. Like, I'm pretty sure we've got more than enough for today, but alright, so he's just kinda, he's putting in the support branches. And it looks like this one is the one he's got sitting in front. Well, this might be a little too thin. Alright, so we're putting the dark color in on both of these first. Alright, so that one's gonna come down. Alright, now this will be a little time consuming, because we have to put each one of those little little fingers in. Just kind of want to see where he ends up here. They haven't done I was gonna say they haven't done a close-up in a while. Alright, so he's gonna take I swear it's like a purple color. We might have to do like the medium gray. On this. And it's going to be very, very wispy. I'm a little concerned what he's going to do with the time that he's got left. What are you doing? What little few things are you... Oh, he's doing some grassy things. Alright, well that's fine. Let's back the bus up there, Bob. Alright. So we're gonna kinda look at it like that for the moment here. Alright, so this is very blue, and I know it's very blue. And it doesn't seem very dark. Okay, so, oh look, he's taking the paint away. Magic. Alright, so he's got these guys kinda of the longer variety. Can you tell when I'm nervous about messing something up? I need to not be. I mean, this whole thing's been an experiment. Alright, so I mean, it's gonna clash a little bit with our darker cloud color, but I'm thinking that might not be that much of an issue. In the long run. Alright, so there's one arm, if you will. Alright, this is gonna be pretty hard to see, so let's see if we can zoom this in a bit for you. I have to do the zoom in this way because this camera doesn't have a zoom function. So bear with the camera adjustments, if you would please. Okay, now the super tough part. Now we kind of did this before on one of the other ones. Like one of the, like the sunset one that we did. It was much simpler. So had that going for us, but I'm just kind of trying to smooth that out there. All right. This is gonna involve a lot of snipping. So just be prepared for that. It is going to be a little bit difficult to see with this dark denim color on the black. Especially as we are kind of melting into the background here, but I can't really pick a lighter color for you guys yet. And I probably should be doing the pointy end first. And then kind of bringing our thicker boy up to the support structure. Sometimes this is easier said than done. Is someone meowing or am I hearing things? Husband?
I did not hear anything.
Okay. It could just be the way the sounds are filtering together with all the fans running and stuff. I think one of the processors or something in my computer, when it kicks over, might vaguely sound like a distant cat meowing.
Or it could be our white-haired stepchild meowing at your mom outside.
Oh, he's out there?
Uh-huh.
I was gonna say, it sounded like there were some doors or walls in between the sound that I was hearing, but... He did seem kind of miffed that you beeped at him earlier.
Yeah, I noticed that. Hey, buddy.
We call the outdoor cat that thinks he lives here our white-haired stepchild now. Because we don't know where he belongs, but he seems to think he lives here, and he most certainly does not. We can't bring another catto in, as much as it pains us to leave him out there. We don't know if he belongs to anybody. We've tried asking on Facebook if, hey, town people, does this cat belong to anybody? Because he's at our house, and he seems like he's an indoor guy. He very much gives off the indoor vibes. And he keeps hanging around our door like he wants to come in or he's expecting to be let in. And I'm like, buddy, we got way too much other cat in here. That's not gonna work. And he follows us when we try to go on our walks when it's cool enough for us to attempt to do so. Which was fascinating. I've never had a cat do that. And Russell had to run to get my dad dinner because we had told him we would get him dinner for Father's Day from one of his favorite places because he doesn't get it very often. And he wouldn't get out of the way of the car. And Russell actually had to beep the car horn at him to get him to move. And by the time I came out to see what the husband was beeping at, he had already moved. And I found him in the backyard. Finally got him to come out of wherever the heck he was sitting, and he was like, meow. Hello, how are you? Hope all is well. We got a little bit of a late start today. It happens sometimes. Blah. Fuzz. So yeah, I had to sit on the porch in the heat and pet the cat for a minute. I'm like, bud, you can't sit in the way of the car. Car's bad. Stay away from the cars. It's to the point now where some nights, if the traffic's quiet enough, for the puppers last time out, we will let them go across the street and pee on the tree. That seems to be a popular messaging point between several of the dogs that are walked by there, and he's gotten to the point now where he just walks out in the middle of the street and tries to follow the husband taking the dog out to pee, and I'm like, get out of the street, damn it. So now I have to go out with them, and I have to stay on the front porch to try to distract the cat so he doesn't follow the husband across the street. It's like a whole ass thing now. Not to mention, he's eating us out of house and home. I'm like, buddy, where are you putting all this? And it's not just our house he visits, from what our neighbors are saying. They're like, oh yeah, he's been at my property. Like, cat, what the heck? Are you just eating at everybody's property and you're still like micro skinny? Or are they not feeding you? Alright, so it might be a little difficult to see. We're trying to put these palm fronds in. He used this like weird dark purple color. I don't have a dark purple. That's not like super purple. So like a dioxazine purple probably would have been really good because it would have been like really dark. But I have like a jewel tone purple, and I'm like, oh, that's not gonna work here. So that's what we're trying to do. It's barely visible on the camera. Just barely. So this portion will probably take a little bit of time to get through. That's why I wasn't sure how many sessions we had left when I was looking at these palm trees, because I was like, yeah, that could take a bit of time. And I'm personally okay with it taking a bit of time. That's fine. But, I've got so much to do this week. Oh my goodness. Like, I'm busy, and then I'm, like, super busy. So, this is gonna be a super busy week. I've barely touched, the level 59 Bloodthirsty Druid to get them ready for Wednesday. I started to work on them late last night, and, I'm usually up working on stuff till like 3 or 4, and I was sitting here and I just had a wave of exhaustion hit me, and I call it trancy tired, where I get so mentally tired I'm numb, and I'm like, we need to go to bed. And then I went to bed and couldn't sleep, and I'm like, ugh, of course, I'm wasting all this time laying here trying to sleep, and sleep's not happening when I could be doing other things. And we've got a lot to do. I've got to get that character worked on. That's probably going to be at least a 12-hour endeavor. So we need to get some shit done tonight, later. I've got to work on the Midsummer Fire Festival World Event write-up for the WoW Challenges community. I don't have to do it from scratch, so that's good. I have the base article done from previous events in the past, So all I have to do is just kind of glance over and make sure there's no weird mentions of shenanigans that were afoot the last time the event came through that don't need to be there, and see if there's anything new for this year when that goes live on Tuesday. I have another article that I need to get cracking on that needs to be done before the beginning of July. And I wanted to start our Minecraft project, so, you know. Is my mic, like, not working today? I think it is. It should be. Yeah, no, it looks like it's working. Sometimes I never know. Sometimes I accidentally mute it and forgot that I muted it, and then nobody tells me that they can't hear me, so I don't realize that it's still muted. You know how those things go. So yeah, he used this dark purple. Oh, I may have show a 300 next week for the podcast. So that's gonna be interesting. We're gonna be having a dance party in Booty Bay on Warm Rest Accord for anybody that wants to come hang out while the show's being broadcast, and we're also recording it. So we do live recordings of the show. We're not always live recording in-game, but we are always live recording. And that'll be on their Twitch page next Saturday, the 25th at 7 p.m. Eastern. And yeah, so Bob used this like dark purple. I don't have that color. It's like an almost black purple. Or it looks almost black against this background. It stands out just enough to see it. And that's not really gonna work for us here, so had to go with my next darkest color that wasn't black, and that was either our brown here that we did the tree trunk out of, or this blue. I didn't look to see if I had a darker brown in this, in the little mini roving samples that I had acquired. I probably should have, but I didn't. So, oops. That's alright. Can see things happening back here in this mess. Doggo, what are you doing? Like, the only shade of purple I have is like a lilac color, and I'm like, yeah, that's not gonna work. So it's like a royal purple. I should say the only purple I have in the acrylic yarn is like a lilac, similar color. The purple in the little mini roving bags looks like a jewel tone purple, so that would be a little difficult to pull off where we needed it to be. But yeah, how's everybody's weekend doing? you guys are doing all right. If it is even still your weekend, I know a lot of you are scattered across the globe. Sorry for our later start today. But I was actually kind of awake at 1:30 this afternoon. I'm like, yeah, husband's like, are you getting up? And I was like, yeah, I'm working on getting up. And I fell back asleep, and I hadn't meant to. I thought it had only been like maybe a half an hour at the most. And I said, what time is it? And he's like, oh, it's like a little after 3. And I was like, oh shit. He's like, I'm going to be leaving going to get dinner soon because I have to make a stop somewhere else to pick up medication. And I'm like, right, so there's no point in me starting stream until after you've brought dinner back. At that point, I was originally supposed to make pizza today, and it was just so hot. And then he's like, well, do you want something? Because we can just get something for all of us. And I'm like, I really don't feel like cooking. So we ended up all partaking in the takeout adventure. So he has a little bit coming in off of the other side, not much from this angle. Like, that's gonna be super difficult to get across there, so I think we might just stick with the one side of this section, at least on this piece. And that was looking a little thin in there. So remember, you just want to cut the strands just above your project. Don't cut them like down into the project, because you might start snipping things that you didn't want snipped. You don't want to cut a hole in your project. You know what? I'm just gonna take that up just a little bit more. And then I'm just gonna kind of toss that back down into there. Okay. Ooh, it doesn't want to let go. Alright. Just trying to smooth things out a bit. And we'll work on getting our next arm put in here. For some water though, my voice is scratchy as hell today. It's been a lot of talking this weekend between all of the things, so. Alright, so I'm just, I keep forgetting my hands aren't in the camera view since we zoomed in. Well, you can kind of see it now. Alright, so we've got this guy coming down. He probably should have been in a different position though. That's okay. That other one should have been, I misjudged where we were. That's alright. This one's a little bit lower. So, it's here. let's just go here. And we'll start to get this guy tapped in. Just gonna twist this a little bit more so that we have a little bit more control over where he's going. I don't want him getting too wild there. Oh, one of my wind chimes broke again. It's so windy here. Like on a good day. But my poor wind chimes just get so abused. We had to actually go out. Well, we started with the hardware store. And then we started on the internet. Scouring the depths for string for wind chimes. And I don't know how we missed it the first like 15 times we were searching. We finally did find it. I guess we weren't searching the right phrases or some nonsense, but we had to restring at least one. I have another one that broke, but then part of the pieces of it shattered because it was like a seashell one, and it didn't really chime, it just kind of clanked, shall we say. And that was held together with filament, but the filament broke, and we tried to redo it, and that refused to be redone, which was kind of sad because I got that one in Florida, and that is going to be a pain to be replaced. And then my two Flamingo wind chimes, one of those, the string let go. I'm not quite sure how long we had them. I don't think we've had them that long. I thought we had only had them a couple of months. I don't think we've had them quite a year. It could have been. But yeah, the wind just destroys them. So we don't have gentle breezes here. We have like, when it's even slightly breezy, it's pretty significant. Just working on getting our fronds in on this one, and on this one some of them are showing on both sides. If I'm remembering what Bob was doing correctly. So I'm just trying to make sure that we're working in small little blips, just to kind of make life a little bit easier. And we still have to go back in and do our highlighting colors too, so The highlighty colors were done after everything though. And I guess that makes a degree of sense because then you know where you're overlapping. So I mean, sometimes we have to put the highlights in as we go on this, but I think as far as that's concerned, we should be able to do that at the appropriate time that Bob did it. Alright, so right now we're like down in here. Can kind of make it out. I can kind of make it out. I don't know. Hopefully you guys can. It looks a little bit brighter on Twitch than it does on my preview, I think. Alright, so in some of these spots where I can, if the frond length that I have remaining in my hand looks appropriate, I'll probably just kind of fold it over and see if we can get it to work like that. And no two palm trees are gonna be the same. So you all do your palm tree how you're gonna do it. That's all there is to it. As I keep sticking that uncovered finger in there. Don't worry, I'm fully aware that that one keeps sneaking in there. Trust me, it's not on purpose. That one just keeps wanting to be a part of this. And I can guarantee you, if I switch the protector to that finger, I'll stop using that finger and I'll be using the other one that doesn't have the protector on it. Alright. Is he still out there?
No, that's my mother.
Oh, I was gonna ask you if you'd heard from her. She alright? Or are we gonna discuss that later?
Yeah, she's alright.
Alright. Where are they?
I don't know.
You don't know? You didn't ask?
Well, as long as she's my cat, I haven't been keeping track.
The mother-in-law's out gallivanting all over the country with one of Russell's aunts. Last we had heard, I think they were in New York? Like Niagara Falls? No idea where they are now. Alright, so this is getting a little thick in here. Let's see if we can elongate that. Sometimes we can. Sometimes we can't. Okay. For those coming in late, sorry about the tape on my hand. I scraped it and I figured nobody wanted to. It's not a bad scrape, but it is there and it would be distracting. So I just threw a piece of painter's tape over it. That's only a couple of days old. Normally band-aids would be advised in this situation, but I don't have a band-aid that's gonna stick there. I need like one of the little dot band-aids, and I don't think I have any. I think I used them all. I had white masking tape, but that's pretty transparent, so I figured, yeah, let's just stick the blue tape on there for now. Alright. There's a section right there that opened up, and I'm so mad about it. I'm like, dang it. I can kind of just see it. I might try to I mean, we can cover it up. It's not the end of the world. Just mildly frustrating. Oh, we made that bigger. How did we do that? I don't know. I don't know. Let's see. I mean, we still should be able to cover that. There should be another palm frond that comes down in through there, so that shouldn't be too bad to deal with. Hi, Peabody. Meow. Meow. Mr. Peabody the Meow-O-Matic has joined us. And he's decided it's meow o'clock. And he is going to tell us the story of his people, apparently. Or the story of what he did today. Really not sure which. If anybody can speak cat, do let me know. If you can translate. Alright, so that's not terrible. Considering I can barely see what we're doing with all of the dark on dark on dark on dark. I mean, I can kind of see it. Okay. Let me put that down before I stab myself. Now, we need to get some more fluff rolled together here. start to get our next support branch going. You all right?
Uh-huh.
Okay, so this one, let's say maybe about here. We'll just have this frond cover up that split up there. Since it wants to be a little bit fussy. If that's how it wants to do, then that's how we'll do it. Alright, just trying to make sure all of our loose fuzzy guys are taken care of. Go ahead and flip this guy over. And we'll get another chunk pulled off of there. Alright. Sorry, I just wanted to reposition that a little bit. Since we are a bit zoomed in, so we can see what the heck we are doing. Alright, and it's just going to be more of what we've been doing up to this point. Working on getting these guys settled in here. What was that noise?
What noise?
I don't know. It sounded weird.
I didn't recognize anything.
Oh, that's a little cat. She was sleeping on the bottom shelf where my clothes are. That's how they got all knocked out of there this time. Have a 3-shelf unit that I keep the clothes that I'm currently wearing on, And I had a bunch of like pajamas and stuff on the bottom. And the cats keep taking turns sleeping on top of them, and in the process knocking everything off that was on there. I don't know, it almost sounded like a weird vibration. Can't really describe it. Okay. It's 7:30, Daddy. I want my potty. He is a creature of habit. Can't tell if it's fuzz or my own hair that's attacking the back of my arm. It could possibly be either. Alright. I think we'll finish up this frond. And then we'll probably call it a day. Probably should have done that one first, but since this one's sitting on top, I mean, we could go back and fix it with some more brown and taupe, but I think it'll work out in the end once we get the other guy slated in there. But it wouldn't be an art stream without me doing something backwards, so you know, there's that. At least we know some things are consistent. Right. Okay. Let's start to get this all tapped in here, and we can give this a little more definition with the highlight stuff when we get there. Sorry, I'm gonna miss it being light this late when it changes over. Snippy snip. And don't forget to tuck in the ends of where you just snipped off. Alright, and then we'll get this guy tucked into here. Alright, so I think that's gonna do it for today. I know we didn't get a whole lot done today, but you know, it does take time to put in these frondy guys. And next week we'll try to get started on time. I don't foresee anything happening next week that would cause a late start other than me just running late, and even then we should still be starting earlier in the afternoon than we did today. But definitely a start for getting that side of the tree in. Now, tomorrow might kick off Mikeless Minecraft, so if you do join in, that's going to be later at night, or if you do pop in, rather. So that'll just be me kind of kicking around in Minecraft with no commentary running, just me playing for a while. Don't know how long those sessions are going to go. They're always going to be later at night when we do them. It'll just sort of be bonus content. And we'll also give my voice a rest by not talking so much. So next plan to stream is going to be Wednesday. It's going to be World of Warcraft. Hopefully we'll get that last Bloodthirsty Challenger to max. And then that will bring us down to 3 to go, hopefully. Fingers crossed that nothing goes wrong. And Thursday, I'll probably give the campaign in Parkitect one more go that we're currently working on. I don't know, I got super frustrated with it last week. I'll give it one more try, and we'll see where we stand with it this week. If I'm still not getting anywhere, then I just might call it on that. But we'll see, and then we'll have Planet Zoo on Friday, and we're picking up the new conservation pack on Tuesday, so that is going to be fun. So I can't wait for that. So you guys have a great night. We're going to go see Zorts, and I will see you all maybe tomorrow for Minecraft, maybe on Wednesday. We will see. You guys have a good one.